Hey everyone, so welcome back. Hey, I bet you think this is the same video as last week. Well, it's starting the same, but it's not the same. This week we're going to do a comparison video to this 2006 Harley Davidson Electra Glide Classic to this 2008 Victory Vision Street. So I'm going to give you a little comparison of the things that I like better from one bike to the other bike. Both of these are touring bikes. Both of them have some great features. I'll let you know from these two bikes what I like best. Okay, so initially here I'm going to say is I'm comparing these two bikes directly. Doesn't mean that a Victory Vision or an Electra Glide Classic of all types are going to be the same, but with some of the options that are on each of these two bikes, that's where I'm giving my comparison. Here I have with me now my son Elijah. He is going to go for a ride and give his two thoughts worth on the bike. He got to ride with me on the Victory Vision. Jamie didn't ever. And so, what do you think so far of space and feel of the bike compared to the Vision? Because of the seat?
Yeah, that, and there's like these bars down here that are on the back of the cab.
Oh, huh?
I mean, it still feels good. Other than that.
What do you think of that? Huh? Huh?
The shifting or the speed?
The sound.
Good. Definitely louder than the other one.
Yeah, it's quite a bit louder than the Victory Vision. So initially I'm going to talk about two things. One, the Electra Glide Classic has Python exhaust, aftermarket exhaust. So that's what gives it the louder sound. It doesn't have stock exhaust, where the Victory Vision does have stock exhaust on it. The other thing is, if you notice, this is my brother, a 250 pound plus guy. I am a 250 pound plus guy. We both had great room on the Victory Vision. I don't think we both could ride on the Electra Glide Classic together as well as we did on the Victory Vision. So on these two comparisons, the Harley Electra Glide Classic gets the win in the sound department, and the Victory Vision gets the win in the passenger comfort department. Okay, so now we kind of want to go and talk about space. The Victory Vision has probably the largest footboard area of any bike I have ever seen. There's so much room there, you can move around. You never need highway pegs or crash bars or anything like that to rest your feet on. The other thing is the dash. As you see, we've got the dash up there. We've got all this area where the tank is. That also is kind of like your console of this Victory Vision. So now if we go to the Electra Glide and the Batwing fairing, we see that it's a whole lot closer to us. You can reach right out and everything's right there, right in front of you, pretty close. The other thing that I like about the Electra Glide is the ability to be able to see the road down in front of you. When you go to the Victory Vision, you can't see the road at all in front of you, which initially was a little unnerving. I got used to it after I rode it for a while. I did like the layout of the buttons on the handlebars, and I also liked the cruise control that the Victory Vision had that the Electra Glide doesn't. It just has Harley Davidson's throttle lock. So I've taken both of these bikes on a couple hour-long rides, and I can't really give a comparison as to which I like significantly better. I think I like the Batwing fairing a little bit better than not being able to see the road on the Victory Vision, but as far as their cluster layout and gauge layout and all of that, I would say it's pretty close to a tie, but I'm going to give a slight edge to the Electra Glide Classic just because of the Batwing fairing and being able to see the road. Okay, so now let's talk about the windscreen. On the Victory Vision, we've got this movable windscreen, which is a pretty cool thing. You can put it down when you're in town, you can put it up when you're out on the road. The one thing I did notice is that even with it up, you're back so far from the windscreen that I still got some buffeting, and there's quite a bit of wind that comes around the driver. When we go back to the Electra Glide Classic, we've got the windshield that you can change out. It doesn't move, it's a fixed windshield, but you can change out and get higher ones or lower ones. But I will say that even though I felt wind around me, in the couple of times that I have ridden this in this situation and in colder situations, I didn't really feel there was hardly any wind hitting me. And while the passenger said they got wind, and you can kind of see there's quite a little bit of wind hitting him, I don't think there was nearly as much wind as what I got on the Victory Vision. So wind management, I'm going to give the plus to the Electra Glide. Now I'm going to talk for a couple of wins that I'm going to give to the Victory Vision. I mentioned it earlier, but cruise control, outstanding. It worked awesome. You hit it, it kept the speed. The other thing is the Vision came with heated grips. I rode the bike the day before without gloves on. Used the heated grips when it got a little cooler in the evening. Worked awesome. My hands didn't get cold at all. When I rode this day with the gloves on, my hands actually started getting warm from the gloves. The other win I'm going to give to the Victory Vision is the mirrors. The mirrors on this are out so far, and they're very sturdy. You can see tons behind you. So cruise control, win for the Vision. Heated grips, win for the Vision. Mirrors, win for the Vision. The next comparison is going to be in the engine. The Victory Vision has a 106 1700 cc engine with approximately 112 foot-pounds of torque. When we compare that to the Electra Glide, which has an 88 cubic inch, 1450 cc, and about 86 pounds of torque, we can easily see that the Victory Vision gets the win in this department. Now, when it comes to looks, we can see that the Electra Glide has that, some may call it a dad bod, but I think it's more of a classic look. And this bike in particular kind of has that cop bike look a little bit more with the guards around the saddlebags. But I kind of consider this the old classic motorcycle look. I especially like all the extras on this bike, like the gas tank cover here, that gives it that muscle car look. The Victory Vision, on the other hand, is that straight up Buck Rogers, Star Trek, Flash Gordon look. very spaceshipy. It's a cool looking bike, but it had just a little bit too much spaceshipy to me. Little sidebar, I have also looked at a Victory Crossroads, and this has more of that muscle car look, that old classic style look, and I like the look of this bike quite a bit. So if you can't tell, I like the classic look. The win here is going to go to the Electra Glide. And while we're on the subject of the Electra Glide, I'm going to give another win to the Electra Glide for the amount of room that it has to store stuff. If we go back to the Victory, all it has are these huge looking saddlebags that are not huge at all. This is a big loss for the Victory. A touring bike, especially with saddlebags that look that big, should give you a lot more room than what this bike gives you for touring wise. Yes, it does have the shelf on the back there that you could use for a bag, but just overall, I could store everything that I want in the Electra Glide, where the Victory, we're going to have to get an extra bag to bring along.
How it runs on the interstate.
So now let's talk a little bit more about driver comfort and room.
But I think for basic highway riding, it's pretty comparable to I think the other does have more room. I do like the fact of being able to move my feet up onto the highway pegs. You know. No, you could add, so I could probably add a lower highway peg to it too, if I wanted a lower one on those crash bars.
Also, the seat on this Electra Glide is extremely comfortable and has a backrest. By comparison, on the Victory, it has a big, comfortable seat. One thing with the seat, though, is there's no backrest, and the seat was a little bit harder. Okay, so from the standpoint of rider comfort, actual driver-rider comfort, I'm going to have to give this one to the Electra Glide Classic. Okay, so in the last part, I want to talk a little bit about overall rider community, part support, and also add-on parts. And while I think both the Victory community and the Harley community have extremely avid lovers of that particular bike brand, I think the number of people that are out there Harley-wise, and the way you just have a Harley and they gravitate to you, I think is a little bit better. When it comes to parts, I'm a little concerned with the fact that Victory has been phased out. I know there are a number of aftermarket parts available and other companies making them, and the number of parts that just are available in general, and the overall upkeep of the Victory seems very, very good in comparison. Harley, I think, since they're such a known brand and those bikes are continued to be made, and there's such a wide number of aftermarket parts that are available, I think in this case, in this situation, Harley gets the win on this just because of the fact that Victory is a discontinued line. I do think that the Victory is a good bike, and I don't think it'll ever not have parts available, but I do think if you want aftermarket parts, and eventually if you want parts, it's probably going to cost you a little bit more to get those parts, even in comparison to the brand name that Harley has, the premium that you wind up getting because of it being a Harley. So as you can see, while the Harley won, it wasn't by that much. Maybe that last one pushed it over the edge to make it that much better of a value, but overall you can find parts to make up the differences where one may be lacking compared to the other one. For example, you can get a tour pack for the Victory Vision, you can get heated grips and cruise control for the Harley. So I think it really comes down to where the price point is for you, the particular bike, and what options that it has on it that you want. I believe that the market for Victories right now is extremely good buyer-wise. You can get really good bikes with low mileage at sub $10,000 prices. And the same with the older and even some of the newer Harley touring models. You can get a good Harley touring model under 10,000 or right around that 10,000 mark, and you can customize them and you can do things with them, and they can last you an extremely long time. And if you learn how to work on your bike, you can have a bike that will last you forever. So that may not have been how you expected this to turn out, but that's my honest feelings. I don't think you can lose in any of these motorcycles that you get. I think they're extremely valuable, and they give you a lot of value right now. Price-wise is just outstanding for getting a great bike. So the last thing I want to say is, let me know what you thought of this review comparison. Let me know which bike you like better, what bike you have, and what kind of modifications you'd make to either of these two bikes.
So till next time, keep the sunny side up, keep the rubber side down, and have an utterly awesome day.